Okay, now we're going to move on into basic concepts. Articulation. Now, articulation is extremely important for piano playing. It's what basically is the foundation for any type of piano playing. It's like the violin, for example, knowing how to use a bow. If you learn how to use a bow the wrong way, all of your violin playing will suck. And this is the same thing for piano lessons. I've ran into this problem personally where I had bad teachers when I was younger, and they didn't really teach me very much about articulation. I mean, I was playing very complex pieces when I was young, and as I got older, I was playing these complex pieces, but as soon as I went into college and studied with an actual professor that knew a lot about piano, the first thing that they told me was that my articulation was not good, and they worked on that. And instead of me going into college and starting to work on more complex things, I had to go back to the basics and work on articulation. So let's begin on articulation, the basics. So you really want to pay attention to how to articulate when you play the piano. And articulation basically means how you play the notes on the piano with your fingers. And you want it to be clean and precise. Because if you don't learn to write, like I said, it will take years to fix. So articulation is the way you press down on the keys and how you move around from key to key. Like that just showed the right way to play notes on the piano. One of the techniques I use to help my students get good articulation is this little hammer approach to playing the piano. And what you do is you treat your hand as if it's a hammer, and you treat the keys as if they're nails. And you use a hammer in your hand to hit the keys. Now, what you want to do is you want to get a good hit on the keys. You don't want to get too hard, but you want to have a good, strong hit on the keys. Now, I have this little exercise right here that I'll show you right now. So you just do that on the piano. Like, don't do it on the piano. Do it on a hard surface like wood or just a hard surface. Just use your hand and just hit the hard surface. And you want to hit this hard enough so that you hear the hitting and you feel secure in your hitting of the hard surface. And then what you do with this is you translate it onto the piano when you're playing the notes. So here's a video of translating on the piano. Notice how the notes are pushed down. They're pushed down pretty good into the notes. You're not just touching the bottom, the very edge of the note. It's got the middle of the note that you're hitting, and you're pushing down enough so that the key goes fully down. You're not pushing it down halfway, so you're barely making any sound. If you do it that way, then a lot of times when you play, you may not even make any sounds. So you want to make sure you're pushing the key down hard enough. And as you'll see in this video right here, this is kind of the wrong type of articulation because it's very sluggish. As you can see with the fingers, they're just holding down the notes, pushing it down slowly, pretty lazy looking playing. And it's going to make it sound very lazy looking too. So listen very closely when you're working on your articulation.